What I'm here to discuss today is the difference in the relationship between qualitative and quantitative research. Qualitative research is research that is, you're trying to find something out about something, but if it's qualitative, what you're doing is you're trying to find out what the attributes or factors are of the thing that you're trying to understand. It's basically describing things in a way in terms of what makes it up and what makes it distinctive and different from other parts of the world around it. Quantitative research is when you're actually measuring things. That is, quantitative research is about quantities. That is sort of the size or intensity or the frequency of something that you are measuring. So let's start out, let's take one by one and understand what the qualitative and the quantitative research approaches are. It's easier in a sense to start with the quantitative approaches because when you're measuring something, typically you're using some sort of a survey instrument, that is a survey document that has a series of questions and closed-end choices on it that can then be counted and tabulated, and you can use those then to measure the frequency and the intensity of different things that you're measuring. But by and large, most quantitative methods involve some flavor or version of a survey. That is a set of questions with closed-ended answers that people then sort of fill out for you. Qualitative research tends to have a much broader range of approaches and methods. So qualitative research can include everything from very structured, focused interviews with a person or a group of people, one-on-one, or remote over the telephone, on a Zoom or something like that, all the way to the more completely open-ended, more ethnographic approaches where you're just sort of going into some circumstance or situation and trying to figure out what it is you can learn about it. That's the sort of approach you use when you really don't know what you don't know. There is one really good rule of thumb about qualitative and quantitative, which is that as you are entering some subject area that you want to gather information about, typically you want to do qualitative research before you do quantitative research, because you do qualitative research to understand what are the different factors that are involved, what are the range of different attributes that you may need to pay attention to, what are the different things that you may want to ask in order to measure it. Because if you go in and just start measuring something without really understanding what the factors are, you may not get information that's very useful to you. So the big rule of thumb is, you don't want to get really precise measurements of exactly the wrong thing. So first, make sure you know what it is you're going to measure and why it's important and that it's the right thing to measure before you start measuring it. The way that Sylver uses these sort of techniques are, number one, we're open to the full range of qualitative techniques. We've done just about everything you could imagine in terms of qualitative research. We're often using that qualitative research in a very sort of, good by-the-book fashion to inform the development of a quantitative approach that will then be measuring. But the key thing that makes us different is that for us it's framed all within the context typically of helping organizations, companies innovate, develop something new in order to be more successful in what they're doing. Qualitative research is a lot more exciting than I think people give it credit for. Numbers tend to be the things that everyone thinks are so sexy and so strong and wonderful, and that once you have numbers you've completely understood something. No, I tend to disagree. To really understand something, you need to be able to describe it. And numbers are just one way of describing things, not all the way.